about that, mate? Look at the camera. How about that?
I'm gonna follow them.
Hey guys, welcome to a brand new video back on the channel. Today I have a treat and a half for you. We are here at Warner Brothers Movie World up on the Gold Coast. We are going to be checking out the Batman Legacy exhibition. This is the biggest Batman exhibition in the Southern Hemisphere. Not only that, we are going to be getting up close and personal with some screen-used Batsuits. We are going to be checking out Keaton's Batsuit. We have Kilmer, Clooney, O'Donnell, Bale, and of course the Batflex. So with that being said, let's head on in. 10-year-old me is screaming right now, as well as 34-year-old me. Let's check it out. All right, firstly, let's start off with the GOAT, Michael Keaton's Batsuit. So what we have here is a Batsuit that has been designed by Vin Burnham and Bob Ringwood. Now, the interesting thing when Batman '89 was gearing up and they were designing the Batsuit, they had nothing to go off. This was essentially a game changer of a costume. Now, what we have here is a spandex or a lycra undersuit with foam latex muscles mounted onto the Batsuit. And the extra cool thing, Batman wears Nikes. That's right. Tim Burton was asked if he could strike a deal with Nike at the time. Nike wanted to work with Warner Brothers, so they figured, let's make the Bat boots from Nike. So Michael Keaton loved them, the stunt crew loved them. Now, as with foam latex over time, it eventually does start to break down because of the elements, UV and stuff like that. So this particular suit has indeed been refurbished in LA by Ironhead Studios, who in fact built the Batflex Batsuit, which we'll be checking out later. But overall, this is the one that started it all. It's still a beautiful representation of the Dark Knight. It still holds up to this day. Just to see it up close, even though it has been refurbished, you still see all the elements, the history behind it. This heavy cape, this is a latex cape with wool embedded in it. This is a heavy suit. And obviously we know the famous Keaton head turn because of how thick that foam latex cowl really is. Now, perfect segue talking about the Keaton head turn. Let's go check out Val Kilmer's Sonar Batsuit. Okay, what we have here is a screen-used Sonar Batsuit from Batman Forever, worn by Val Kilmer during the climax of Batman Forever. Now, this is one of my personal favorites from the Joel Schumacher films. I think it is severely underrated, and I would have loved to have seen this throughout the entirety of Batman Forever. A bit more different in terms of the tech that was used to create this. The foam latex tech had been improved upon since Batman Returns. But in this case, it's actually a neoprene undersuit. So essentially a two-piece wetsuit with the foam latex mounted on top. In terms of the cape, it's no longer latex and wool embedded, it's actually balloon rubber, believe it or not. So interestingly enough, the man responsible for sculpting this suit as well as the Panther suit and of course the Robin suit seen in Batman Forever is Jose Fernandez, founder of Ironhead Studios. Jose was 26 years old when he fabricated these suits along with his costuming crew. Obviously, he went on to found Ironhead Studios and make Ben Affleck's Batman suit as well as Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman armor. One of the biggest draws to this particular Batsuit is the color scheme. It changes a lot, but overall has that nice ice blue aesthetic. Speaking of ice, let's check out some Batman and Robin suits. Alrighty, as you see here, I'm surrounded by two beautiful gentlemen. I have George Clooney's Batman in his ice suit and Chris O'Donnell as Robin also in his ice suit. Now, these suits were seen in the climax of Batman and Robin. Interestingly enough, the suit we just checked out over there, Val Kilmer's Sonar suit, does it look familiar at all with the similar designs? That's because they didn't make a whole new suit for George Clooney. This is indeed a repurposed Val Kilmer Sonar suit with a little bit of accents thrown on here and there, as well as Chris O'Donnell's Robin suit. It is a repurposed Redbird suit used predominantly throughout Batman and Robin. Obviously, this was used for the climax with extra trimmings added on. Now, the reason why they wanted such a quick turnaround was A, budget, and B, to sell toys. As we all know, Batman and Robin was made to sell toys, essentially. As Chris O'Donnell said, it was like filming a giant toy commercial. Regardless of that, I know these suits cop a lot of flack, but they are beautiful pieces of costuming engineering, especially when it comes comes to the paintwork. And even though some parts of the foam latex haven't exactly stood the test of time, they are still in immaculate condition considering what they've been through. You got to think about it. Sweat can break down foam latex. So regardless of that, these suits look absolutely incredible and just so cool to see these little details up close. Batman and Robin was my jam when I was a kid. I think I was the perfect age when it came out. I was 9 years old. I didn't care that story-wise, they made no sense whatsoever and they were just there to sell toys. Why? Because I bought the toys and I still have them to this very day. Now, as we all know, when Batman and Robin came out, it exactly wasn't a critical nor financial success. So the franchise lay dormant for a while until one man picked up the franchise, Christopher Nolan. So perfect segue, we're gonna go check out Christian Bale's Batsuit. Okay, what we have here is a screen-used Batsuit worn by Christian Bale in Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight. So before we get started on this suit, let's backtrack to Batman Begins. The Batsuit used in Batman Begins, pretty much the same principle applied when you think about like Clooney, Kilmer. It was a neoprene undersuit with foam latex armor pieces glued on top. But narratively, in The Dark Knight, Christopher Nolan, along with his brother Jonathan Nolan, wrote into it that Bruce wants a new suit. He wants to be able to move more and also turn his head, which has always been a thing with Batman. He wasn't able to turn his head until we got to The Dark Knight, then obviously Batman v Superman. But in terms of this costume, you probably notice it's in a lot better condition than the previous suits. That's because these armor pieces are indeed made out of urethane, so they are going to last a lot longer. We also have carbon fiber elements embedded into the chest, the ab sections. Now they are separated pieces, so it allows for Christian Bale and the stunt crew to have more movement. And obviously we have a two-piece cowl, which essentially acts like a motorbike helmet, but that way Bale, the stunt crew, they're able to turn their heads. Now in terms of the mesh undersuit, it's actually made by a sports manufacturer. I do believe it's discontinued to this very day, but there are some Batsuit makers that still have a hold of a few rolls of this particular mesh. Much like Keaton's Batsuit, this particular Batsuit was a game changer and upped the ante for Batman being able to move and of course turn his head. But to really get Batman to turn his head in a one-piece cowl, we needed Jose Fernandez, who was enlisted to make Ben Affleck's Batman turn his head in Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. So let's go check out that particular Batsuit. So like I mentioned, Christian Bale was able to turn his head in his Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises Batsuit. That's because it was a two-piece cowl. We had a lower neck piece and obviously the cowl. But the true test of costuming was getting Batman to turn his head in a one-piece seamless cowl. Cue Batman v Superman with the casting of Ben Affleck as Batman. This, in my opinion, is my favorite Batsuit. Affleck is also my favorite Batman and Bruce Wayne. I'm absolutely obsessed with this costume. Now, it looks simple on the outside, but the engineering that has gone into it is quite spectacular. So I mentioned Jose Fernandez, who sculpted and built the Panther, Sonar, and the Batman and Robin suits at the age of 26 and 27. Well, he was re-enlisted to help build this Batsuit for Batman v Superman. By this time, he had founded Ironhead Studios, so he had a crew working for him. He wanted to tackle Batman once again. This time, they were going for the iteration of Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns with the shorter ears. We also have a textured fabric draping a muscular body. So it is not indeed Ben Affleck's anatomy, but he did get pretty jacked for this role. The boy is a tank in this suit. The way it was fabricated, there is a lycra undersuit with foam latex muscles glued over it. Not just any normal muscle suit like what you see I use for cosplay. This is indeed a specially engineered muscle suit that has crumple zones and stuff like that, especially when it comes to the ab section. When you want to do a crumple in a bat suit, you don't want to look like you've got a six-pack of bread rolls from Baker's Delight in there. It has to look natural. So especially textured fabric was screen printed by a company in LA called By Design. It was strategically glued down. All these pinch points are not left to chance. These are all done on purpose just to make it look like some sort of a textured fabric hugging a natural muscular body. Now, in terms of the belt, this is my favorite belt as well. This is actually a functional belt that actually clasps in on the side there, but also attaches via Velcro at the back. Now, when it comes to the cape, we do indeed have a practical cape here. So this particular Batsuit was not screen used. These were indeed made by Ironhead Studios utilizing the same materials for the screen used suits, but these were made for promotion during BVS. So obviously we do have a practical cape. This particular cape is made out of urethane rubber, much the same of the armor pieces for Christian Bale's Batsuit. The thing is, when you are dealing with a big piece of urethane like this, it is very heavy. So most times out of 10, unless Affleck was just standing there, but for stunts and stuff like that, it's especially with the warehouse fight scene with Richard Citrone, Affleck's stunt double, they'll just pop a couple of motion tracker dots at the base of the cowl and add it in post later on. That way, it allows for a lot more flexibility for the stunt performer as well as Affleck. Now you notice I haven't touched on the cowl. This particular cowl is a static piece. This was 3D printed, molded, and cast for these particular statues. But we're gonna head over to the cowl vault where we do have a screen-used Ben Affleck Batman cowl. I'm really excited to tell you how he was able to turn his head in that particular cowl. Okay, here we are at the cowl vault, AKA the evolution of the cowl. Now, as you can see, it's each end of the spectrum when it comes to these cowls. Obviously, we have a Val Kilmer cowl that has seen better days. We have Bale's cowl. Now, like the suit, it is in the best condition because it is cast in urethane, and urethane essentially won't break down if it's stored properly. Whereas foam latex mixed with sweat, it's gonna break down over time. Now this particular cowl here is a reproduction of the Batman Returns cowl. This is indeed cast in fiberglass. The 89 and the Returns cowls are pretty much dust these days unless they've been refurbished. Moving along, we have two more Clooney cowls again that have seen better days, but it's still awesome to see that beautiful ice blue paint over the foam latex. We have a Val Kilmer cowl from the Panther suit, not the Sonar suit, the Panther suit, that is still in pretty good nick. And then we have another reproduction of the 89 cowl. Again, this one and the Returns one are cast in fiberglass. We have another Bale cowl from the Dark Knight/Dark Knight Rises. Again, in the best condition because it's cast in urethane. We have another Clooney cowl, which is very worse for wear. But what I want to most talk about is the Ben Affleck Batman cowl from Batman v Superman. Like I mentioned, Affleck was able to turn his head in a one-piece cowl. You want to know how they did it? Looks simple on the outside, but there's a bit of engineering going on inside this cowl. So it's cast in foam latex. Those big bulky neck muscles you see there, they're actually air pockets. There's a hollow void inside. We have a structure inside the cowl that essentially zip locks on like a hard hat helmet onto Affleck, Richard Citrone, his stunt double, and the other stunt crew. So you have an anchor point on top and an anchor point on the bottom, in this case, the Batsuit. It would Velcro onto the Batsuit. You have these two anchor points at each end. When you pivot them with the hollow points in the neck, you are able to turn your head in the cowl. Considering how much wear and tear this cowl has been through, it's still in beautiful condition. And to see that internal structure inside is absolutely magnificent. Again, the engineering that went into this is incredible. Jose Fernandez, Rob Freitas, Jim McLaughlin. This cowl is a testament to the crew at Ironhead Studios. Again, simple on the outside, but a lot of mechanics on the inside that makes for a very comic accurate Batman. Alrighty, we've checked out some Batsuits, we've checked out some beautiful cowls. Now we also have an array of some villain costumes. We also have Heath Ledger's Joker, Tommy Lee Jones's Two-Face, Jim Carrey's The Riddler, but there's one particular villain costume that I want to talk about as a bit of a bonus round, and that is Arnold Schwarzenegger's Mr. Freeze costume. Okay, bit of a bonus round. We are going to be touching on Mr. Freeze's armor from Batman and Robin, worn by Arnold Schwarzenegger. When I was a kid, when Batman and Robin came out, I was obsessed with this piece of armor along with the Batman suit and the Robin suit. Now, several suits were made for Mr. Freeze, played by Arnold Schwarzenegger in the film. They consist of hand-hammered aircraft aluminium made by Terry English, the world-renowned armorer. Now, they used LEDs to light up all the panels in the suit. In total, the production brought out 10,000 LED bulbs for all of the suits. It is a credit to them in terms of engineering. It is a severely underrated suit. I think that's one of the best things about Batman and Robin. The film may not be that great, but it's the costumes that are just so on point, even if Arnie's ice puns are just god-awful.
Let's kick some ice.
And there we have it, guys. The Batman Legacy exhibition is on at Warner Brothers Movie World here for a limited time. Highly recommend checking it out. With that being said, a massive thank you to the crew from Warner Brothers Movie World for making this happen. This event has been months in the making in terms of having a behind the scenes visit. Again, 10-year-old me is chuffed, 34-year-old me is chuffed, and a massive thank you to my cameraman and dear friend Joshy for coming along. With that being said, let me know down below your favorite Batsuit. Love you guts, and I'll catch you in the next one.